on yet another hot-ass day. 99 degrees out there, at least it was at one point today. But, hey, that's all right. We sort of just kind of got out of the freezing cold temperatures that, not only Minnesota, but the Midwest, I get. Well, not all the Midwest, but the upper Midwest likes to bring us. But that's all right. I ain't complaining. All right, we need this heat every once in a while, get us to humble us a little bit, I guess. But today we got some, pretty decent topics, but nothing, super interesting. Well, I guess it depends on who you are, okay? If you're me, anything about football is really interesting and fun to really talk about. So anyways, let's get to the world of football. Are you ready to get your fix? So, about 2 weeks ago, the Detroit Lions had Mr. Todd Gurley come over for a visit, former Rams running back and former Atlanta Falcons running back, who is a free agent at this point. Now, I find this very interesting, okay, because the Lions already have a pretty deep running back group, okay? I mean, they got DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, Jameer Jefferson, Raheem Boyd, and then Dedrick Mills. So they have quite a bit of running backs. Now, obviously, not all of them are going to stay on the team. Some people are going to get cut. Some people will be on the practice squad. Who knows how that all is going to play out. But for sure, they have DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams. Now, those two, at least in my eyes, are a pretty solid 1-2 punch. Okay, we've seen what Jamal Williams has done with the Green Bay Packers in the past. Okay, very, very good receiving back. Has been able to step up when Aaron Jones wasn't able to get the job done. Now, DeAndre Swift also had a pretty solid, rookie season last year. Okay, granted, they really didn't know what to do with the running back group. I mean, Adrian Peterson was there. I think Damian Harrison was there. I'm not 100% sure, but I know they had multiple backs that went out there and tried to do, their thing, if you will. But they have a solid and, deep running back group. Okay, so if they add Todd Gurley, not only does it add extra firepower, and by firepower I mean like that extra, punch. Like, how I said that DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams gives that nice, 1-2 punch out there. Well, I mean, we've seen what Todd Gurley can do, okay, in the past. And yeah, granted, he has dipped in production. We'll get to that a little bit. Okay, but not only does it add that extra firepower, but it also adds really an extra security blanket. And I think we've kind of talked about that pretty much all year on the show, okay, is that you need that extra security blanket to make sure that you're going to be just fine. And if one guy isn't getting the job done, well, hey, next man up, okay? But now, I also say security blanket because DeAndre Swift, even though, okay, he did pretty solid in his only his 4 starts last season in which he had 521 yards and 8 touchdowns, which, I mean, hey, that's pretty solid in 4 starts, okay? That's over 100 yards per game. That's 2 touchdowns a game. Granted, he probably didn't start all those, or start the games that he did score touchdowns, if you will, but he did all right. We still don't know, though, this year how well he's going to perform, okay, in a full 17-game season, if he ends up starting all 17 games, okay? He's coming into his second year. This is where a lot of, this is where a lot of rookies coming into their second year really find who they are, if they can actually really play in the NFL. Because you're really not sure year one, okay? Your stats are all at 0. How is he going to perform? Is he going to be a beast or a bust or, you never know, okay? And with Jamal Williams, okay, like I said earlier, he's proven that he can be a very, very good receiving back. But can he be a legit number 1 running back? And by number 1 running back being the guy who mainly gets all the snaps, running constantly, how healthy can he stay throughout the course of the season? Is he just mainly a receiving back? And really, I don't see him as mainly a receiving back because he is able to run the ball at a very good rate and get a few or a good enough yards, okay, per game, if you will. I don't really know how I kind of said that. Probably sounded stupid, but hey, that's all right. English isn't. It's a hard one for me, anyways. But now, if Todd Gurley, let's say, were to sign with the Lions, this could honestly rejuvenate his career, okay? In 2019, when he was with the Rams, 857 yards, 12 touchdowns. Okay, then you go to last year when he was with the Falcons, 678 yards and 9 touchdowns. So, not too bad by any means, but at the same time, a big dip in production from him from 3 years ago when he put up, I believe it was over, I think it was like 1,300 yards or something like that, 1,200 yards, one of the two. But he was able to really get the job done. And really, that's not what happened the last 2 years, okay? I mean, 678 yards, you should be able to do something. Granted, the Atlanta Falcons were really not that good of a team, okay? The offensive line really wasn't there. Their defense was garbage. Really, all you had was Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. Even Julio Jones, like we've talked about, because he got traded to the Tennessee Titans. You know, they really couldn't figure out how to get him the ball, and he was hurt a little bit here and there. He did play through it, I think, a couple games. But they're really, with an injury like that, you need to be able to be the next guy up. And Todd Gurley really wasn't that guy. Okay, Atlanta Falcons, they had Devonta Freeman. He was, from what I know and from what I've seen, he's actually pretty decent. Okay, he was pretty decent. We talked about him when he went to the Giants. I picked him up in fantasy football. That backfired, to be honest. But you got to be, if you're in the number one guy, you got to be able to do something. And really what he gave us last year was nothing. Okay, I'm talking about Todd Gurley here. But he hasn't really been the same, okay, since his first 4 years of his career. But he still has running backs of all time. I mean, you got Jim Brown, Eric Dickerson, Walter Payton. I'm probably missing some here. Oh, I guess Barry Sanders. And so he's probably top 10 for sure. I wouldn't put him, I guess, top 5 because there's a lot of running backs out there that have came through this league and actually have dominated like at a ridiculous pace. Okay, I mean Jim Brown by far is the GOAT. I mean the dude was awesome. I wish I could have seen him play, but wasn't born in that era. I mean that's sad to say at least, but I think because that era was special. I mean we had Deacon Jones and all those guys that were just freaks.